obviously it is meant to be like horrendously brutal. It's supposed to be war. It's supposed to be death. Like you're supposed to be exposed to this in the same way that the characters are.
They will establish a character, and 2 episodes later they will die. That's just how the show goes.
Yeah, no, I mean the show utterly loves to just rob you of your expectations. Just rob you freaking blind of what you think might happen.
Immediately.
Yeah, they're down bad, like considerably.
Considerably down bad.
So, and then Levi says, "Beyblade, let it rip," and frickin' goes full tear up her arm, like the.
Yeah.
They have no chill killing innocent civilians, man. Like they
No
chuck
chill.
her into one of the
church.
churches of the.
I'm eager to hear Trevor's hypothesis. What say you, blind man? What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to episode 58 of the Unboxing Life podcast. Is Attack on Titan the greatest show of all time? We're going to talk about it, but I'm joined by my boys.
We can't have the same title from the previous anime box. Although I did say shonen for that one. I didn't say the greatest show.
Oh.
So
The greatest show. So I'm joined by first Triton-kun. What is that?
Oh, for those not in the know, I combine Treasure and Titan, and I am Triton, which is a headset manufacturing company. So shout out to Triton.
It's also Ariel's father, the Little Mermaid, King Triton.
True.
King Triton.
Yeah,
we'll move on to the other Titan in the house. We got colossally average sized Titan.
What's up? I'm just a regular sized guy. But
This is such a great intro. I feel like no one has clicked off yet.
We're killing it. We're doing it big.
I know.
And last but certainly not least, Frick the Shingeki. We're talking about CB no Kyojin.
That's me, baby. We're out here. This is I'm really excited to do this. This is part 1 of our 3-part series covering Attack on Titan. So yeah, take us into what we're doing, Alex.
Dope. I'll tell you exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about season 1, as we said, but we're also gonna get into traditions right now.
Oh,
dang. Okay.
So I'm gonna throw the tasty tradition.
Why y'all like surprised?
I wasn't surprised. I said, "Ooh," I gave him a little.
I'm gonna take it this tradition, right, and I'm gonna throw it up. I'm gonna catch it, and I'm gonna pass it to David.
Okay. So for my track, I have to look at the name. So I got to turn into Casper a little bit because the name is literally unsayable almost. It is part of the OST, the original soundtrack from Attack on Titan. And of course, it's featured in season 1 quite prominently. It is called Symphonic Suite in parentheses AOT Part 2 through 1st Attack on Titan WMLD
God, dude.
So that's what I found.
my man read the colon.
Yeah, if you're searching for that video,
Which
don't type colon.
Which theme is that?
Type a colon. Don't type colon.
It is it's the one operatic song that goes like and you got like you got these different sections to it. I think it's very good. It's a very great battle theme. It even has like that drop in that like happens with all the epic moments. Yes,
that's that song.
Yeah.
Where's the chick is going ham?
Yeah,
exactly.
I am not as thorough in my Attack on Titan lore, so I have zero clue what you're referring to.
What?
Well, yeah, check it out. You guys will feel pumped up after it. I'm sure. You know.
Yeah,
it's there. It's in the blood of Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Trevor doing a little pose, a little hand to hand there. Yeah.
Annie dance.
Yeah, dude. The OST for this is fire. We'll get into that, I'm sure. All the music, how hype it is. But yeah. So good selection.
There you go.
That is a dope selection, and I'm glad you picked it as your track. I saw Triton over there squaring up like he wants it next, so I'm gonna throw it to him.
Hey yo, so I
No
do
way,
want
yo.
it next. Nah, but so let's bring up the quote. So this one is said like 700 times in the last like 4 episodes, and I was just like, all right, well, if they're screaming at me to do this quote, I might as well just do it. And it goes, "Someone who can't sacrifice anything can't ever change anything." How do you guys feel about that? Do you really feel like you have to sacrifice something in order to change something?
I mean, no matter what, you're putting time in. That's a sort of a sacrifice, but
that's not so much of a sacrifice. More of it is like an allotment of your resources.
The way the show gets into it a lot is talking about the sacrificing your humanity to win the war and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's super intense for sure.
I definitely think in a sense as well, you'd be sacrificing, depending on what you're trying to change, how big it is, you'd be sacrificing your anonymity. I don't know if I said that word.
That's a tough word. Yeah.
But sort of like, anonymity. Yeah, sort of, you're trying to change something big and everybody's going to know who you are. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah,
in many ways.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably if you're changing something that big, you got goals that big. Certainly there's things you can do without huge sacrifices, but yeah.
Anime sacrifices.
I've been thinking of that song, the whole time.
Straight up. All right. So
like I could change it
or the episode. Sorry, Jesus, I am a horrible podcaster. I apologize. we do 2 episodes a week. We've been doing it for 7 months straight. So I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna hit you with the joke because I'm funny.
With the joke. Get him.
All right. You mean at the beginning of the show you see Eren and you see Mikasa?
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
So when Eren welcomes Mikasa, what does he say? What is the first thing he says to Mikasa?
Get away from me. I think he was overwhelmingly annoyed of her presence the entire show. So yeah, probably something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Something with Ackerman. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll tell you what he says. He says, "Mikasa es su casa."
There you go.
Did you make that one up or did you read that on Reddit?
I'm sure somebody came up with it before, but I made it up when I was thinking of jokes.
Nice.
I like it. I like the homegrown effort.
The brilliant comedic mind.
I mean, he does say that basically, so that's pretty good.
Essentially, he does say it. Yeah. Spoilers: if you have not watched the show, as blatantly obvious as it should be, you clicking on a season 1 review, please go watch the show. I like to say this just in case to make this idiot proof.
Yeah. And to add to that, I will add that if you are watching this episode to go along with us, and you've seen the show, we're only going to be talking about season 1 this episode. So if you want to leave a comment, don't talk about.
Do not spoil, please. Yes. Keep all season 2, 3, and 4 out of your mouth on the discussion board for every bit of your comments. We will be deleting them. I promise you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about season 1 all you want, please. We'd love to hear.
Exactly.
Also, before we get into Cameron's tradition, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a review. We have already read our first user submitted review last episode. I keep saying that because I'm a horrible podcaster. But yeah,
you're doing
leave
great,
us a review
sweetie.
on Apple Podcasts. That'd be great.
For sure.
All right, Cameron,
Hit us with
your fun fact.
Throwing it to Cam.
All right. We have a fact about the inception of Attack on Titan, how it came to be. So that's why I wanted to go last, so we could take it straight into the discussion of season 1. So
he was a big Spider-Man
fan. What?
He was a big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. So anyway, Attack on Titan was created by mangaka Hajime Isayama, which I will try not to butcher going on. In an interview, he said the idea for the Titans themselves came to him when he encountered a drunk customer at the internet cafe he was working at. He said he was inspired by the man's lack of ability to communicate, even though the person was of the same species as him, and thought at that moment that the most familiar and scary animal in the world is actually the human animal. Also, in that same interview, Isayama also stated that he came up with the idea for the manga because he lived in a rural Japanese town surrounded by mountains, which is reflected in humanity's existence within the walls in the manga and the anime. Eren's wish to go outside the city's walls is inspired by Isayama's own desire that he felt throughout his childhood to explore the world beyond the mountains. So he pulled very heavily from his own personal experience. Obviously, this is a very, in my mind, original concept. I think very few things like this has been done, which is part of why I like the show so much. But yeah, we'll definitely get into that.
It's very cool. Yeah. Nice.
Fire.
Some good insight. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, without that, I think we're gonna jump into the openings that we normally talk about before the show plotline. So, how did you guys feel about? I already know how y'all feel about this. This is ridiculous.
Well,
I don't even know why I'm asking.
So
Cameron left. Yeah, that's fine.
If you're on YouTube, you'll notice the Christmas lights just went on because I forgot to plug them in before. So there you go.
Because it's April.
Hey man.
But yeah, no, we're festive all year round. How do you guys feel about the first opening of this show?
How do I feel?
Let me before I let y'all answer. I knew exactly how y'all felt the first 3 seconds of it when it was like I was like, all right, this is one of those openings where I'm gonna get heat if I don't like it. Like instantly thought that, and I have never heard this before.
Wow, yeah, that's a very accurate and quick appraisal. Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
well said, David.
I'm wearing the scout uniform right now. It makes me want to enlist for the scout regiment when I hear it.
For sure, man.
I'm not with you, but I'm with you in spirit.
In spirit, yeah. You'll be in the military police, but you'll be rooting for the scouts. Yeah.
All the way in the inner wall.
Military police is mad corrupt.
True.
But they chill.
Yeah. Big fan for sure. This is kind of an intro that transcends the anime itself. Probably one of the more iconic ones ever, honestly. And I think it lives up to it because, I mean, or you see why it became that iconic. It's freaking hype as heck. And the imagery just syncs up perfectly. I think Cameron was talking about the translation of the German at the beginning before we started recording. I think from what I found, it's roughly like, "Are you the food? No, I'm the hunter." Because there's like the question in there, which
Interesting.
is a very cool little phrase to introduce the theme of the series. Kind of like, yeah, it's pretty much perfect. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched
perfect. All right.
I watched a different English subtitled of the version than we did just before we started the episode, and there were like even further along phrases and stuff like that were slightly different in meaning based on the way they were translated, which obviously that's how that works. But yeah, it's I just seconded to everything you said, David.
I'm
basically,
so sorry. I kept that in too, and it was just
just turn the other way.
She just burped.
Yeah, just so I'd second everything David said. The imagery is really, really strong. I think in terms of like an opening lining up with the show and how the show makes you feel, it's very consistent with that. Like it definitely prepares you to watch an episode of Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
it's strong. It's hype. There's like a chorus. It's strong, I guess, is the best word I can actually come up with for that. So yeah, I like the opening a lot for sure.
Both openings are very fast paced.
Yes.
With very ferocious instrumentation, and it's got a symphony behind them, and it's incredible guitars. My only problem with it is like just the mix falls flat. I don't really feel too much bass in it, but that's just probably my nitpicky ears. Maybe it's different for other people, but that's the only problem I have with it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm necessarily in the camp of like it's one of the greatest of all time, that kind of thing. But I think it fits. I think it fits the show very strongly.
Interesting.
So.
I expected
facts.
It's definitely no. Yeah, I mean, that take makes a lot of sense considering me. But it's yeah. I mean, it is iconic in and of itself. Still, like David said.
Yeah.
Alex, how do you feel about it, baby?
Yeah, I mean it's dope. There's the one part like Cameron's talking about the way it syncs up with the animation when the instruments pause and he just goes Jaeger,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
Eden, and he's slicing because his Eden Jaeger, so he says
Yeah.
Jaeger. It's him. It's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think any of us can pronounce his name as Aaron this entire episode. It has to be Eden. Like,
Eden.
I don't,
I
did
can
y'all
pronounce
watch
it,
it?
Aaron.
Y'all, so I have no idea if this show is in dub. Did y'all watch it in sub or dub?
It's dubbed in many
did watch it
languages
dubbed.
actually. But yeah,
It
I definitely watched the sub because
I watched the sub.
Japanese is to my knowledge formed as a language of war in a lot of ways. So Japan has had a storied history of conflict within the island. So they kind of developed their entire society with wars going on at all times. So it's
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very intense, very comes from the diaphragm kind of a language. So it's really, especially when you get further along and not even further along, but there's a lot of scenes where it's like I can't imagine hitting hitting as hard as it does in English as opposed to Japanese because of how good the voice actors are as well.
I won't make you imagine it because it won't hit nearly as hard as
Yeah.
it will in English.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've watched it in both sub and dub.
Okay.
I will say.
How did you feel about the dub
When
versus the sub?
I watched the show first in dub because I've been following the show for years. I watched it in dub, and I started watching it in sub, and the sub is dope. I still like the dub though. There's some voices in the dub that is not it. Like Armin Ultra Strong, he ain't it. He sounds like a bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's great in the sub.
But then you got Matt Mercer as Levi, and he's just like, dang, he's killing it.
Yeah.
I've heard clips of him. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
I've heard the dub is great. I always love the sub too. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of those shows where it's just all the effort and budget and
Yeah.
everything is put into it. Like, both are going to be excellent. Honestly, I always watch the subbed on this one, but whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
We're gonna just graze over the second opening and
It's good.
That's
Yeah.
fun. It's
It's
not.
cool,
It's like the
cool.
first 20 to 30 seconds is just a March theme, and it kind of bores the shit out of me.
yeah.
And then it kicks in, and it's pretty
I
nice.
mean,
It's
yeah.
got
I think
a
it's
shreddy
really good.
guitar. It goes like this, for like a few seconds, but
It does a good job of showing imagery from like what's going to happen in this half without spoiling stuff.
Right,
Like,
with the arrows.
Like, it doesn't have freaking like Annie with the female Titan back to back. Like, ooh, I wonder what that means. Like,
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
so
bro.
many shows do that kind of thing. Like, I was so worried about that. Like, going back to it. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. It just like the first one is one of my favorite openings ever. So it's like, why didn't you just have that for the whole season? But then I'm like, well, this is good too. So frick it.
Also, I would assume that they don't like realize that they're creating like one of the most iconic openings when they do it. So it's like they do like what every anime does, where they have 12 episodes of one and 12 episodes of another.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that your favorite one of all time happens to be the first half, and that's no fault of their own.
Yeah, I can't
I know what
imagine
you
them.
mean.
I can't imagine them being in the studio and not knowing they were cooking up fire. Honestly, like that's
They knew that they were cooking fire, but
Yeah.
transcending like the anime world, I don't think that's what
Nah,
they're
I
shooting
could
for.
see. I could be like, I could listen to it, and I'm like, yo, you hear that? Yeah, I hear that. We need to keep this throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
The whole season.
I know.
All right, that's a dope idea.
Like, every time something crazy happens, like Eren is like going at the freaking colossal Titan, and then the freaking first opening kicks in, you're like, oh freak. You just get
Yeah.
hyped, man. And
Yeah.
the second one is like it's like Trevor said, it starts out chill for a few seconds, and you're like, but then it gets into it.
yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, the imagery is really strong, like you said, and especially in the first one, like the another part of what I love about the show is the way they animate in like 3D a lot of the time when they're using the omnidirectional gear, and so they do that in that intro, and that's the part where they go Jaeger. So it's like it's really really good.
Y'all keep referencing that, and I don't even know what part of that song they do that in.
It's
That part alone is like always stuck in my.
it's a whole
I
meme.
hard,
didn't
bro.
catch it at all.
It's
We heard
hard.
it. We heard it right before the show, and I just
Yeah.
didn't hear it.
It's a whole meme because of the fact that it's like the character's name, so it's a word that stands out amongst the Japanese, especially because it's a German word amongst the Japanese, and he yells it at the end of a sentence. So it's like, so people will be like, na 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 Jaeger. It's like the entire idea is like that's the one word you know in the opening. So like you're singing along just by humming, and then you just yell Jaeger, which I like that they did that. That is adds another level of symbolism to the entire show. That his name is Jaeger. I didn't realize that it meant hunter in German, because it goes very strongly along with Eren's motivation to kill all the Titans. So
I want to slaughter all of them.
I will kill Koros.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alex, you got it.
Yeah, so first opening's good, really good. I'd said it wasn't one of the greatest of all time, but it's probably top 10. So that's whether I was saying not top 3, but it's probably top 10.
I think we have spent entirely way too much time.
Yeah,
on
I was about to.
The openings are great. Let's get on to the show. It's 20 minutes in.
Right.
Facts.
Yes, we're ready to
Agreed.
jump into it.
We start
Fact.
in a field under a tree with a nightmare.
We sure do.
Cameron, no, we're not doing this. We did this with Jujutsu Kaisen.
That's what I was leaning into it on purpose. If you couldn't tell,
sure.
Yeah. So you start out with them.
I watched the first 2 episodes like 2-ish months ago, when we were just like fiending for another show to watch together. We being Rizio and I don't remember them that well. I remember, them just being kids and running through the street and seeing the Survey Corps for the first time, or the Survey Corps for the first time, and I want to be a scout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
and then his mom getting chomped. And I was just like, wow, this show has no chill like whatsoever.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it's kind of outrageous to say you don't remember them, because it's probably the single most outlandish tone setter in television, like at all. Like I can't think of another show that is that brutal that fast. It is. Yeah. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of it sets up stuff very well, very succinct.
With his dad saying, or his dad being a little mysterious with what he's working on, and it's not clear to you that he has like basically Titan DNA in like the entire time. I don't know when he got injected with that, but it was like probably close to after he saved Mikasa from the kidnapping. I don't know when that happens when they're a kid, like maybe like when they're like 6 years old or whatever. But
yeah, assume things that you don't know will eventually be explained, basically.
Well, they show his dad literally like coming up to him with the needle and like, yo, you're gonna take this. You don't understand why, but you're gonna control this.
Yep. Yeah, and he doesn't remember a lot of the surrounding circumstances or context or whatever. He just remembers those couple frames. Eren being he. So yeah,
it's an interesting detail in that flashback too. Is he's like, mom's death like made you crazy or something. So that implies a certain timeline of when that happened that I never realized the first time I watched it. So that's kind of mysterious. It's a lot of mystery even in the first couple episodes, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and like just the way that we were talking about the tone setter, like the show is brutal, but in a very weirdly goofy way, because the Titans are drawn in such a clownish way. Like it's almost like you're supposed to be making fun of the way they run. Like Alex embedded a fucking GIF. I need to stop cursing. He embedded a GIF in the reg chat earlier, and it was just the Titan just running around with it looked like a chicken with its head cut off running the way it did. So it's like it's a very goofy way about going like after such a like horrific way to scope the show. Like they're literally chomping on humans, but with a Joker smile. It's really creepy.
I will say that's what it is, because there's some aspects that just make me laugh when they run, for instance. But then when
I'm not gonna lie, I kept trying to look for his junk and I couldn't find it. Like, but they don't have reproductive organs, so
right.
Yeah,
I still can't log in.
Very convenient for them to include that for obvious reasons.
For sure. But, thankfully, actually.
It'd be a whole different kind of show if not.
Yeah. No, instead of TVMA, it would be TV X-rated. What were you saying, Alex?
Just that when Eren's mom gets chomped, for instance, it's super goofy the way the Titan is drawn, and it's smiled wide open. but I don't think it's meant for you to like laugh at it. It's more of like, yo, this is nuts. This thing has no chill.
it's-
Like you
Yeah,
said, it's
Exactly.
crazy,
It's like
creepy,
the it's like the
goofy.
reaction of no chill. It's like,
Mhm.
wow, this show is like
Yep.
there's no breaks on the show at all. Like
And
there's
it is not
actually
afraid to show you limbs getting
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no holds barred. It is like utterly gruesome. I mean, you're talking about
There are holds barred sometimes. Like there will be times where like they're literally holding them, and you got like the top half of one of the humans, and they're chomping on it, but they cut away, so they don't show it all the time. And
Yeah,
they
I
could.
mean-
They
I
could-
mean-
it's like the Venom movie,
yeah, even
where it
even
should
with
be totally more brutal than they wanted it.
even with Eren's mom, they cut away in a way, and they also silhouette it. But you also see like a fuckload
But
of blood.
yeah,
and
the
she's
blood
obviously
fucking
like in half
splatters everywhere
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's intense. It doesn't, I guess in that way it doesn't make it like terribly gratuitous, but obviously it is meant to be like horrendously brutal. It's supposed to be war. It's supposed to be death. Like you're supposed to be exposed to this in the same way that the characters are, so that it is like you understand how fucked up their mental states get, which they do a very good job of throughout the show.
Yeah, they strike a good balance because I mean, it would be fine if they showed a little more gore, but you know, they don't like.
I don't think
hold
it's
on.
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessary at all. They show what's necessary. It's brutal enough, like
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves it up to your mind as to how disgusting that chomp would be versus showing you.
Yeah,
It's more of a
More or less.
like don't tell kind of thing. But
Yep.
yeah.
First two episodes are pretty crazy, and then it kind of jumps to them being in training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the I like
I
to
didn't take any notes on the show, so I'm pretty silent.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so they break through the wall, right? So Wall Maria is freaking done for. So they have to, all of humanity moves within Wall Rose, at which point they have a massive food shortage, and so a year later they send out 20% of the population to go, like, quote unquote retake Wall Maria, but they all freaking die. So they accomplish nothing except for killing off like a part of the population in order to solve the
Which is
starvation
exactly what
problem.
they wanted, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly what the royalty wanted, was like kill off the commoners so he can like maintain the population, whatever. So yeah, including Armin's parents are involved in the reclaiming of the wall, and they die out there. So yeah. What else? Yeah, so that's a year after they break the wall, and then a year after that they are 12 years old and they join the cadet corps.
Yeah. And it's quick. Like they go through it quicker than I remembered. Like,
Oh yeah,
just like the years in the cadet corps and just learning and all this stuff and training, and then before you know it, they're like about to graduate.
Right.
so this show is, meant to be brutal, it's meant to be intense, but it does have its funnier moments, and I want Trevor's first knee-jerk reaction to the potato scene. How'd you feel about your girl Sasha?
The potato scene.
Do you not remember?
See, like, no.
Dang. So it's when they're all lined up.
Wait. No, I remember. She's just chomping on homie. Yeah, she has the little potato that she has, and that was funny as shit. I'm not gonna lie, because she just starts chomping away, and she's like, "What you want?" Like he comes up to her, he's like, "Are you eating? Are you actually fucking eating in my line?" No, I thought that was great.
Yeah,
the mad scientist, right? Or is that a different
the cadet
chick?
commander.
So that's the mad scientist.
I don't think so.
That's a different chick.
I don't know who you. Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about Hanji.
Hanji?
No. Yeah, no. Hanji is completely separate. She's part of the scouts the entire time, but the cadet leader is the darker skinned guy that's bald and has like really really sunken eyes. That's like screaming at him.
He has a war torn complexion.
Yes, he was
A yucky complexion.
Yeah, I forget how much of their history they give then, but yeah, he's
And then she's forced to run until she can basically collapse, which was really fucked up. Like she worked all of them calories off that potato, bro.
That's the army.
Yeah. And they
I'll tell
said
you
like,
about,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say a fun fact about Sasha, that the creator, I know Cameron said his name earlier, but he wanted a character a comedy relief character, and so he named Sasha after Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
Damn, that's fucking hilarious.
What were you gonna say, David?
Expect that. Well, I was just gonna say the funny part about
Isayama.
Sasha is that like they even say like after she's running, like the part she like was like most sad about was that like she didn't get dinner that night, like she didn't
Yeah.
give a freak about running. She's just like
Yeah.
she's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, Sasha's obsession with food continues throughout the show in the very, very similar way.
I'm with
So
her,
that's-
man.
that's
Food
really
is one of the highest pleasures of being a human being.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That makes it in the intro. Hello.
Yeah. Talking about food.
So yeah, they get yelled at. They do all the training. Mikasa just like does her BS easy peasy, but then Eren, who I forget who sabotages his gear, but he's like failing over and over and over again, and then like he finally succeeds, but he was only failing because his gear was freaking busted. Yeah. So he's so determined to succeed and to go kill Titans that he ends up like basically doing what should be impossible and balancing in fully broken gear. So that was cool.
Yeah. It's cool. They do a good job of like it's kind of quick like training and like all the learning that they're gonna do now, like but still having like the moments in there where okay, he overcame this, they did this, like you have the like Reiner and Annie like showing that they're freaking like super strong and all this stuff, and seeing where like Annie's just beating the frick out of everyone basically.
I love her fighting stance, so I keep doing it.
Yeah, it's really
I will
good.
say about the training arc, if you can even call it an arc, it's like 3 episodes.
Yeah, basically is.
They don't really show them like actually utilizing the gear. They just show them trying to balance on it. So I would have liked to see them fuck up with it just a couple times, like they basically just become masters of the equipment overnight, which is fine because like you don't need to see that personally, but
it's definitely not.
I would like to see them mess up a little bit because they're all like regardless of their skill, like in combat, they're all like masters of that equipment.
They're insanely good at it, especially then later in the show you see how insane like the skill cap of the ODM gear is Levi and everything, and it's like those scenes are absurdly good, absurdly fun to watch. But we will get there.
They don't really show how it works. They just kind of dive head first, like, oh, it shoots out this way and then shoots out that way.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a nice little like, I mean, they're just like, hey, this is like this dope thing we're going to be using to create these great fights. And then I like the little, I mean, they give the little, exposition in the between like the commercial break slides or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those.
Yeah. They
a
really
couple times they were too fast for me to read all of it, but I was trying to keep up with them.
Yeah,
there's one towards the end of the season that's like a freaking book.
It's like a story. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I wanted to pause it and read it, but I was like, it was 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
I put my key in the door.
It's an interesting read for sure. Yeah, it's a good amount of world building just in those. Like helps flesh stuff out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because if you didn't, I would. Because it's they include a lot of information, a lot of like technical stuff like of how everything works, and it's all information we are currently able to share. So they're like it's like a little bit of a fourth wall break, where it's like
information
explaining
we can share
it to the audience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are definitely worth pausing a good bit of the time, where it tells you some really interesting stuff, and especially I think the story is about a guy who tries to dig underneath the wall to get out. Mm-hmm. So it's like really interesting, like what happens to him in it's a cool bit of lore. I like lore outside of the actual action of the show and stuff like that for basically any show. So I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff.
It's great to have stuff feel like there's just other stuff going on, and like you don't know what all the factors are and what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. So the last point of the training arc I think I'll make is Annie accidentally shoots herself in the foot by inadvertently teaching Eren like strong hand-to-hand combat skills.
Not even that. She basically shows off exactly how she fights and how distinctive it is, and that's how they pinpoint her as the main suspect.
Yeah,
right.
So,
not only that, but her looks, like
that's a few
that was
things.
like mad. Like when I first saw her on screen, I was like, is that Annie? Like,
yeah, we have.
Yeah, that's how I kind of felt when I watched it as well. Like I kind of put the 2 and 2 together. Like,
because they resemble the controller.
Yeah, more or less.
Not fully, but more or less.
Yeah, because especially, I mean, we're gonna get there in a second. The Battle of Tross.
Yeah, we are.
So, but yeah, I was gonna ask you, especially for the Battle of Tross, which is, you know, they're out of
11 episodes of the Battle of Tross, by the way. Jesus,
9.
This shit would never end.
It's 9 full episodes. Yeah. It is freaking crazy.
That is going in the intro for sure. I'm sorry. We gotta stop saying that stupid shit.
Your brain is just there. It's dialed in today.
It's that in pause, yeah.
It's dialed in.
Vigilant for stupid shit.
Constantly. Yeah. So I was gonna debate you when you said they master it overnight. I guess they don't really show anything of, but it is a 3-year period from when they go into the cadet
but
corps.
For us, it's overnight.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Weird?
I just wanted to segue that somehow. But yeah, so
3-year period.
So yes, 3 years passed. They're 15 years old now. They go to Tross. They're atop the wall, and who shows up? But our boy, the Colossal Titan.
John Cena.
It's the Colossal Titan. Watch out.
Just when you think the show is going to give you a nice, happy break of an episode, it's just like, oh, you know, we're dope dealers. We're family. You know, I love you guys. We went through that horrible training together. And then the fucking Jaws theme just starts playing, and he just comes out of nowhere.
The bolt of lightning comes down, and the theme kicks in, and everything, and it's like, oh my goodness, shit is going down.
And they frame it like it's almost like a nightmare in a sense, where they just can't believe that he's actually there because he literally appears out of nowhere.
Yeah,
materializes.
Yeah. It's such a great freaking moment. Yeah, it is like that too, because like, everyone's freaking out and they're like, huh? Like, I can't believe he's actually there. And then Eren attacks him and he disappears instantly too. When I first watched it, I was like, what? Are they like hallucinations? Are the Titans?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like,
right.
Yeah.
And then you watch more in the show and you're like, nope, it's just, that's how fucked up the world is.
When I watched it, I was confused. I'm like, where did he go? Where did this? I said, where? Where?
Yeah.
Where? I'm like, I did not find him. He just disappeared in a
Yeah, it's perfectly executed. It leaves you very confused, as confused as Eren was when he was 2 inches away from getting a hit in, and he got blasted, and then in a cloud of steam, all of a sudden the motherfucker's gone.
He got steam boiled.
Yeah. So it's
like broccoli.
I mean, I thought that scene's cool. They all get blown off the wall. Sasha has a nice shining moment there where she sprints down the wall and like uses her ODM gear to like latch onto the guy's ankle and saves his life. That was crazy.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get Gwen Stacy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh damn.
That's an
like,
Andrew Garfield.
He doesn't like in that sense where she just kind of latches him out of the air. It's like, you're breaking his neck, man. He's dead.
Yeah, I never read Spider-Man.
Yeah, gets him through the leg, but it was cool. Eren takes initiative like immediately, which just goes to show how freaking pissed he is about the Titans and everything, and how bad he wants to kill the Colossal Titan. And so he like takes the lead, and he's like, you know, Cadet Regiment, we're going in, engage combat, and he draws his swords. Like every moment when they draw the swords and the ODM gear like kicks in, I'm like, let's fucking go! It's so exciting every time.
You cut out. Here, let's fuck it.
Well, maybe my computer picked it up, but anyway, because I think what you guys hear through Discord might be different than what it actually picks up, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, probably. So that was cool. So that kicks off the Battle of Tross. He breaks, which is the, I believe, southern part of the middle wall Rose.
Yeah.
So now we're fighting to not get level 2 broken into. And that's that 9 episodes that you said takes forever, but it's an intense arc for sure. So
yeah, for sure. Down.
They let the Titans in, and then shit goes down. Yeah.
Homie, let's just get to the shits, man. Fuck all that. Like, Homie gets eaten, and I'm just like, are you shitting me? They really just killed Homie? Like, I was so flabbergasted, and like there was like a 10% of me. I was just like, there's no way he died. Like, there's like he's. Exactly what happens in the show is exactly what my 10% of my brain was like, oh, maybe that happened, where he's sitting in their stomach and not actually dead. I don't know how he survives. He gets his fucking arm broken off. He gets his leg chopped off. Like, he's in a pool of blood. Like, you're getting a disease. You know, like, what is happening?
Yeah, man.
I literally thought he died.
The
that
show
was nuts.
I kind of want to know how everybody else feels about this, because I know when I first watched it, I can't get flabbergasted at moments like this, because they do it often for the story, but when they kill off the main character, I'm like, he's not dead. There's no way he can be dead. Every time it happens, and it kind of disappoints me. I don't know if I'm the only one like that, but I knew for a fact that he's not dead, and I'm just like, why?
I fully agree with you. But this specific show, I made an exception, because I thought they were gonna just like Deathly Hallows me, where they were just gonna start killing off dudes left and right just because they can. You know, it's a fucking war anime. There's no rules around here. They will establish a character, and 2 episodes later they will die. That's just how the show goes. So I thought that they were just gonna say, you know what, fuck this last 7 episodes that you just got like learning about him. Now Army is he's gonna be the main character or something like that. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
I thought the same thing. I was like, is this show somehow not about Eren anymore? Like, are we like transitioning main characters somehow? Is it Mikasa's like time to shine, like as the central figure? Like, is this what's happening? Because they let you think he's dead for a solid like 2-3 episodes. Like, they don't even talk about it.
Yeah, it's like almost 4. Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean the show utterly loves to just rob you of your expectations, just rob you freaking blind of what you think might happen. It succeeds in that.
Don't let me forget one other moment in the forest where that happens too.
Sure. I'll try to bring it back up, I guess. But I think I probably know what you're talking about. But when everything's kicking off and they're like, oh, they're gonna go kill some Titans, like this is gonna be super cool, like they're gonna actually get combat and stuff like that. And then they just instantly just start getting swatted and beat
left
and like
and right.
And you're like, oh, Eren is like the main character. He's probably gonna sauce on somebody. Like he's gonna do some cool shit. Just takes a digger into a roof and loses an arm. And then Armin's too paralyzed to move, and he's sliding down the Titan's throat. And then Eren, as we said, like trades places with him and gets swallowed. And then Armin is left there to tell the story, basically, of that Eren is dead. Which he, at one point or another, I think he tells Mikasa, and then Mikasa tells everyone else, or somehow everyone finds out. And then they're all freaking, like, completely demoralized, like, don't want to fight. There's, like, nothing that can move them. And then Mikasa's like, well, I've got nothing to live for, and just starts, like, popping off, just burning through her gas and everything.
Yeah, she gives a speech. She's like, I'm strong. You all are weak.
Yeah. It was like, she's a savage.
And then she leaves, and then they're like, is that supposed to motivate us? Like,
yeah.
Like Jean or someone is like, you have terrible vocabulary.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
that was such a funny moment.
Is Mikasa an example of a simp done right?
I think so.
Mikasa as a simp? Oh, you talking about for Eren?
Yeah, I mean, she has the most reason to be, because in this series of episodes we get the her backstory and why she's so attached to Eren.
Yeah, bomb, pussy, fucking pussy, Rachel, pussy.
I'm just not gonna start it. Pussy. I'm just not gonna do it.
Pussy.
It's not like Eren was the first guy she ever saw, you know.
I mean,
no, that's true, but like
she'd be like her age, yeah. She has a good reason, man.
She has a very solid reason. Even with Eren being like such a dickhead to her, like half the time, like get the fuck off me. I don't need you. You're not my older sister. Like she still like serves him so it's incredibly heartbreaking. It's actually so heartbreaking that you say that. I was actually legitimately sad, because he's like so abusive to her, and she adores him for all the reasons that are like completely valid. He saves her from like getting human trafficked, basically.
Yeah,
not basically, literally. Yeah.
Like
that freaking flashback scene is so dark.
It's incredibly dark.
And they just start killing like the adults with each other. Oh my god.
They kill, like the guys kill her family, and they're like, oh well, we can. She's freaking 12 or like 8 or whatever the frick. We can sell her to whoever. Like, yeah. All right, but then you have Eren opening the door, and he just stabs a dude, and then like slides back out, and he's staring at the other dude.
It was
when he comes out, kills homeboy, and then goes back in the closet, and the other guy's like,
It's like, wait, what the fuck?
Like,
Yeah, Eren is a low key.
Skyrim, he has an NPC moment.
Yeah, bro. Like Aaron's a low key freaking psychopath for like being so prepared to just. Okay, he's a psychopath for just being so prepared to slit throats at the age of 8. Like it was so absurd.
I feel him though.
But he even had
Call of Duty.
he even had the wherewithal to make himself a spear. He attaches the knife to the end of the broom to like get reach on the guy, and he kills him. And then very interestingly, there is something that goes on there with like Mikasa is just somehow a freaking beast, even though she's tiny. Where he's like, "Help me," and she like it does this whole flash thing, and she like something connects with her, and she like breaks the floorboards. She like leaves to help him so fast, and it's like, okay, like this is a bad motherfucker. Like she's gonna kick some ass. So it is it's super intense, that scene, and it definitely, if you want to start a relationship, that's a way to do it in freaking cement. Like that is a cemented relationship, killing people together to save yourselves. Like that's that'll bond you to a person, I think.
Yep. But unfortunately, Eren knows no love, only war.
Yeah.
My man does not want any pull at all.
He
don't give a shit about that.
He's very single-minded. Like even that flashback, great setup, because he's like you said, he's like an 8-year-old psycho, but he's like, I just like, what do you say? Like I killed dangerous animals that were masquerading as people. He's like, literally has no qualms about like killing whatever is like threatening like people or stuff like that. Like he's just from like, I guess the beginning, like a baby. Like it's probably just like, which is insane, and I guess that's why he's all like, I want to be independent, Mikasa. Like, don't look after me. I'm like, it was that whole dynamic of him wanting to be a big boy is, it can be
wanting to be a big boy. That's the way to put it.
Born to be wild, my guy.
He's just forced to be little bro his whole life.
Yeah. So Mikasa gets everyone going. She ends up running out of gas because she's just in freaking berserker mode, basically. And then she's basically resigned to die, but her body like won't let her. She just by reflexes alone is like dodging this Titan that's trying to kill her. And then some mysterious, seemingly intelligent other Titan shows up and starts fighting the other Titan, which is something that you wouldn't think you were going to see, because they all just seem one-track mind, eat humans. So what is this new wrench in the works?
I wanted nothing more for this show to actually do that, and the fact that like my wish was granted. Like before I knew that this was going to happen, I was like thinking in my mind, like, how is this show going to go? Like, what is their secret weapon to killing off the Titans? And the fact that they actually did it, where they just are allowed to turn into Titans, is insane. I love that they actually dove into this concept.
Man.
And Homeboy just turns a corner and goes, yeet, and just completely decks these kids, man.
So I wanted to ask the same question with Annie, but with Eren as well. I can't remember, because I first watched it so long ago, like in 2014 or something, and I can't remember how long it took me to think like, okay, this is probably or definitely Eren. Because I think he's in Titan form for like 2 episodes or something like that, and then he comes out of the neck, and then it's like definitely him. But up until that point, it's like technically not confirmed. But you're hoping it is, because of the whole like, okay, he's the main character, he should come back somehow. Like what's going on here? But I was gonna say, for you, since it's fresh, like, do you remember when you thought like, okay, this is probably Eren?
I thought that like maybe once he killed the first one, and then they kind of like, once he like ignores her, I'm like, okay, that's him.
Okay.
Like when he doesn't turn around and eat her and just goes off and starts killing more, I'm like, okay, that's him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because where else would it come from, basically, right? So
yeah,
because like, I knew he was going to come back, but I didn't know how. And when I first saw it, I remember like, is that Eren? Is that it?
Has his hair, has his green eyes.
Yeah, because it has the passing resemblance for sure.
His
absolute.
His staircase of a jaw and his smile line is really weird, and I don't like it at all.
Oh, you mean the way his teeth are?
Yeah,
like
he
how
opens
one
his
of
jaw
them,
and it literally staircases up, and I hate that design.
Right.
I hate it. I cannot stand it.
It's ergonomic.
It looks mad corny. But other than that, I think it's cool.
It looks like it's like vicious and like nasty kind of. Yeah.
I think it looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
I'm glad that they cannot speak during the Titan form. I'm glad that they're just they just scream. Like it's there's no like actual English being spoken. I don't know, or Japanese being spoken. I don't know what happens in the later bits of the show, but don't react to that. But yeah. I'm glad that they just scream.
Yep.
I will say another fun fact about the Titans is that they based some of the Titan designs off of actual people. So Eren's Titan is based off of UFC fighter Yushin Okami, his body type, and then I know the armored Titan is Brock Lesnar.
Oh, dang.
He looks like him. Yeah, that makes sense. That's funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know about the female Titan, but
yeah.
Wow.
Female Titan's just Annie.
Yeah.
Would have never known.
She looks pretty cool with the muscles. I'm glad that they don't all have skin. Like they all look completely different and distinct.
Yeah, yeah, they did a good job with that. Like, you think how different could they be? They're like big people, but yeah, they mess with the design quite a bit.
Yeah, because the Colossal is so massively different from the Armored, and so on and so forth. Is like what else could they do with this, like, kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely cool to think about. And yeah, but yeah, so we're moving on to Armin just being big brain. Because they're all out of gas, so they need to access the storeroom. So Armin formulates his whole plan to use the rifles and the elevator and people in the rafters and all that stuff. Do you guys like that scene?
Yeah, I mean, his plan was basically flashbang to the door.
Yeah,
but no, I love the
effectively.
I love the synchronicity, and I love that they were reduced to staying up near the rafters to get down and try to attack the neck, and then one of them fucks up because obviously one's gonna fuck up.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that was cool. It was a cool sequence.
Yeah, make a cool shot with like the 360 of them all shooting.
Yeah. Especially in the intro where it goes.
Yeah, it's really cool because that scene is in the intro, and it's like obvious once you see the actual context in the scene, like, oh, that's what that is. But like in the intro, it's just like this crazy scene of them shooting guns, and you don't know what the context could possibly be. So that's we're back to the intro somehow, but it's
please God no.
So Armin uses his plan, executes the plan to bring bait Eren, who he doesn't know is Eren. He just think it's some what do they use the term, abnormal or
aberrant?
Aberrant is what they call
abhorrent
them.
Titans. Yeah. So they bait him over,
never
and he just
that. They just basically use it on like intelligent Titans that think differently from the pack animals.
Any Titan that does something different,
something that's not predictable. That's what they'd reduce it to.
Yeah, you have those nutty Titans that just like leap bounds.
Yeah, homie with the spider look and just like
that one's
freaky as fuck.
That one's
There's a few
terrifying.
of those, and I'm just like, I want to squash them bitches so bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier when we were initially talking about the Titan design and how goofy they look, it does go a long way to make them like more terrifying. Like the fact that they have barely any bodily control, the fact that they look stupid as hell, the fact that all of that is true and they can still kill you in an instant makes them like significantly more terrifying in my book.
They're freaky.
Yeah. So Eren just absolutely goes to town on all the Titans surrounding the HQ, and allows them to refuel. And then I think that's when the scout regiment comes back, right? Right about then. Eren gets out of his Titan, and then Levi and the scouts come back from their mission, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Titans!" and they just clean up the city. At which point they all retreat behind the wall to relative safety, but Eren is not particularly safe because he currently has a load of garrison soldiers who thinks he's the end of humanity, and so so that scene goes a certain way.
It's Armin ultra strong.
Yeah, I know.
He leaves up his fate to Armin to try and convince them that he's not an imminent threat to their well-being.
Yep.
Which he does pretty well. He kind of screams and gets his point across very, very clearly. I like that he doesn't turn into a full Titan, and he just kind of turns into a shell of one in order to block that shot. I thought that was pretty dope.
He realizes later he just turns into whatever his goal is, like whatever can complete his goal. So it's just it's an interesting way.
Which is just funny because later on in the show he tries to grab a fucking spoon that falls out of his hand, and he turns into a Titan.
Yeah. That's a really good Hanji scene too, where she's like, Eren! It's like she's freaking out about it.
I need to get up close and touch it.
Yeah, and she's like, it's so hot! It's so hot!
Really hot!
And then they think he can control it in a way, and so it like starts fading away. And she's like, no, leave it. I don't have enough time yet. Yeah, that's a really good Hanji scene. I love her character. But it's crazy. He like by reflex knows to like harm himself. He does the biting of the hand thing,
which I don't get where that comes from.
What?
No.
That self-inflicted injury turning them into a Titan.
My best guess, my best guess at that point is because they're like conflicts of war. Fuck me. Tools of war, the implements of war. And so like injury triggers their ultimate weapon. Basically, kind of makes sense. I think is how I think of it at that point.
And that being said, I don't know if I'd be able to bite my hand to the point of bleeding.
Nah, that especially when like in the later bits of the episode, like in the show where he's like underground and he's just literally biting into his hand, like just like tearing it apart. Yeah, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, he's gushing blood. It's freaking brutal.
It's literally disgusting. And the sound effects where he's just continuously chomping, it's just like,
right,
can you cut this, man? Like this is not needed. This is ridiculous.
Like I don't know if I would allow myself to do it. Like my unconscious mind would tell my conscious mind to freak right off.
And that's even expounded upon in the actual show because the Survey Corps tries to do it, and they're like, Aiden, I don't know how you fucking bite through your own skin.
Well,
this is not easy.
They all bite
like,
their
no
hands.
Shit, you jackass.
Yeah, they all bite their hands in solidarity, basically, as like a show of good faith or something like that. To be like, we'll protect you. Like this is your gang now.
I think it was more so them checking to see if they could turn into Titans. Honestly, like that's how I thought it was.
No, it wasn't like that at all. But that is funny. That is funny to think about that way.
And imagine if they all did too.
Then the show's just a freaking mess.
I would hate that. That would be awful.
This is all it took the whole time.
The first person to turn into the Titan would crush everybody just
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to worry about that. I think the scene with Armin is really, they have the faith in it. Dang, was I just low confidence this whole time, and everyone, like, no one else saw it but me, like.
Yeah, it's a huge character building moment for him where he thought he was baggage, and Eren looks at him and he's like, "You're the only one who can get us out of this. Go do it." And he's like, well, shit, I guess.
He didn't even say go do it. He was like, I trust in you. Yeah. I trust in your decision whether or not you wish to do it. We'll find out another another way.
That actually is an important distinction. Because he's like, either you do this or we improvise and probably I'll die or whatever. So he's like, but yeah. He's like, if you don't want to, we'll figure it out, but I'm counting on you. Like, I know you can do it. And he does, like I think David said in the intro to this whole discussion, like, do a very good job. And a lot of the like standard soldiers are starting to lower their weapons and like be convinced and everything, but the one guy, the leader, is just too hysterical. As he's about to order the second shot be fired, Pixis comes in, saves the day, which thank God.
Absolute classy freaking class act, Pixis.
I agree.
Like, did you not see his splendid salute? Like, that was a dope salute. Freaking chill. Like,
yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great line.
Yeah. Which, god dang, his intro is great too. He's like playing chess with the dude and like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, the guy's like, I completely forgot about it. Like before I watched it a second time, and the dude's like, come back. You can't even win at chess and all this stuff.
Dude, he like the guy like underneath Pixis is like, yeah, that's because he doesn't like beat you. Like he just holds
like,
back. I thought that was brilliant.
It was so good.
Like in a real battle, he doesn't need to throw the game, bro. Like
That's the line. Yeah, that's the line.
I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that just absolutely in one line just toast the guy. Just absolutely cooks him.
Roasted and toasted, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good because the entire time the nobility dude is like mouthing off and like being disrespectful and whatever, and Pixis just sits there like taking it all and being fine and being cool as a cucumber, and then like he doesn't even have to talk his own shit to the guy. He gets it like the guy below him does. It was that's a really good scene. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because he's just, I mean, from the second he comes on screen, he's intelligent. Cool as a cucumber, as you said. Yeah, seems like he has a plan.
Very commanding presence. Yeah, and then that's very solidly affirmed by him just going up on top of the wall and being like, "This is
attention,
yeah,
attention, you fucking maggots!" Like,
yeah,
I was like, "There's no goddamn way you are amplifying your voice that much to reach them." But
there's out now. I think it only covers season 1, so after this pod you can go and watch it. There's a really good Gigguk video of Attack on Titan in 9 minutes where he just dubs over a lot of the scenes and makes it like a comedy video, and in that scene he does it over and it's just like you can barely hear the guy in the distance. It's really funny the way they do it. But yeah, so watch that. Shout out to that man. He has really good videos, and he actually just put out one a day ago about how Attack on Titan is still so good, so still cooking. But yeah, yeah, so he gets up on top of the wall. He's like, "This is Eren. He's a Titan. He's gonna save the day." And if you're not okay with that, then so be it, I guess. There's a little bit of a defection thing going on in that scene, isn't there? I forget.
Yeah, they're like, a lot of people want to leave, and it's like Pixis realizes that like humanity was at peace, and now we're like getting fricked, so no one is like in solidarity, no one is like willing to fight. So it's like we have to unite humanity, and I think he tells them like, okay, you guys know the terror of fighting a Titan, but like, do you want your children and your families to know that? Like, if you do, then walk away right now, because it's just like they're gonna get eaten if you do. Like, this is it. Yep. And that's like, see the guy going like, well, frick.
Pretty strong motivation. And he does it masterfully, which is why he's in the position he's in, basically. And which is why he likes to talk about taking risks and doing insane shit, because it's like it's almost like his motto is like, it's him and Erwin, honestly, is like, it's so crazy it just might work, that kind of thing. So yeah, they do a lot of that.
For sure.
So that's the we're most of the way through the Battle of Trost.
God.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And he gets a boulder.
He gets a boulder. He gets a boulder. He gets. I think he knocks himself out, right? And then he gets the pep talk from Armin and shakes off everything and picks it up.
And almost gets. They point out the fact that he's a novice controller of the Titan. That he's the power is so immense that he has no recollection of his actions. They weren't malicious in a sense. He can't control himself under it. So that's a driving point in the show a lot, especially when he fights Annie, and Annie's such a masterful fighter, and she has complete control over the Titan, even going so far as to call others to fucking eat her out of it. Like, oh my god, that was
that was insane when they but yeah, they so he plugs the hole successfully, and then they have the court case with Premier Zachary, where Levi just
beats the shit out of him,
kicks the ever-living life out of Eren.
I've seen this scene before, and I don't remember when, I don't remember why, but I remember this scene, and like it's such a fluid scene where he just like brutally kicks the shit out of him. And it's like the way he's animated, he's like kicking in a flash. Like there's no like second frame. It's like he's standing in one frame and then the next he's kicking you. Like he's that fast. But yeah, that was a brutal scene.
Yeah,
and
so he just
like, bro, like, do you really have to go this far? Like, come on, you gotta chill out.
Yeah, he does have to go that far.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Show him how serious we are, and then he
was a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
plays him though.
Yeah, it's an extremely effective closing argument for a court case to say, you know, you're so worried about him being a Titan and being dangerous and everything. Look what I just did to him. Like I can mess this kid up however which way I want, and I'm like the best Titan killer of humanity. So if he transforms, I'll take him out then too. So it's like I got this kid under control. Like piss off the church and the nobility, and we're not executing him. We're using him. So it's
he's very arrogant and confident in his own abilities. I will say.
If Eren were to transform right there, wouldn't he get yeeted?
Yeah, but they don't necessarily know that, so it still works.
Well, it's common sense.
I guess, yeah, it is common sense. It does make sense, but I don't know. Anyway, I think he does a really good job of it, and Mikasa literally has to get held back.
Yeah, sure.
From going after that, but yeah,
that's another prevalent. That's a prevalent theme in the show of not telling everyone your plan. And only basically this show has like a definition of a need to know basis.
Yes.
Where they won't tell Mikasa that they're going to beat the shit out of your love and there's nothing you could do about it. And then it becomes clear the motivation afterwards. But the show embodies that like a few times.
Very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, the scouts have Eren, and what happens to him?
They transport him to a castle, right? And then
yeah,
you know,
so they do all that stuff, and then they
introduce them like having the two captured Titans, and
oh, that's right,
and having that conversation with Hanji. That's her name.
Hanji, yeah. Hanji Zoe.
Yeah, about how she wants to research them, and they have like a whole 10-minute bit about her like shielding them from the sun to drain their energy, and touching them and putting them under nets and all that kind of stuff. And
yep.
And then they die.
Does that mean they get energy from photosynthesis?
That's what she assumed.
From that vitamin D.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they determine that they get energy from the sun one way or another, and that they become
because they don't
at the
need
very
to consume
least
anything really for energy.
Yeah, they don't. She also finds like that they don't have. They just have like empty stomachs. They don't have a digestive tract. They don't have anything for anywhere for waste to go. They just eat humans and then throw them up and then repeat the process. Rinse and repeat.
That's
so
a
it's
good
like,
thing. Could you imagine if just a bunch of the field is just Titan dumps?
It'd be tough. I mean, not.
Well,
be great.
I mean, it basically is. They're throwing them up, so it's like it's one more step to shit. So.
Yeah, it is still a pile of blood and guts, so it's not great still for sure.
Right.
Yeah, so they do that whole thing where there's an imposter among us, and someone killed the research Titans, and
I want to know who Andy's working for, man. I want to know.
That's what the show does. Very strongly,
yeah. So expounded upon, rightfully so. There's too much to get to, but I want to know. It leaves a lot up to your mind to draw upon for season 2.
For sure.
But before we get to that, let's just get to the 51st expedition, right? That's what they call it.
Beyond the walls.
Yeah. Beyond the walls.
I believe they.
This is fire because. Like just the setup, like the formation and how they because they're like almost basically in the Stone Age where they don't have too much like prevalent technology that we would have for communication. So they have to devise a plan. They have to devise a plan where they're just like they have several groups and like forming like almost like an arrowhead. And when one shoots off like a smoke signal, like green, red, or yellow, or whatever it is, it's a signal, and then you have to repeat it, based on how far away you are. Mm-hmm. To signal for the rest of the group that's behind you that you're protecting. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, so over the miles wide formation, everyone can move together. It's very ingenious. It's Irwin's baby, basically. He invented it. Like that's his whole idea, and they talk about how it's like reduce the fatality rate so massively and all that stuff. And so it's ingeniously designed, and I love the way the show does the diagrams and the explanations of they lay it out in front of you and show you exactly how it works, and they explain it very concisely and neatly, and you're like, okay, this is how this works, let's do it.
They definitely have masterful explanations. Like it doesn't fall victim to the shonen trope of over explaining everything. Like they do very quick, to the point. You need to know this. That's all you need to know. That's great. Move on. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't suffer from that as well because of the fact that there is no real power system. It's just like the ODM gear and stuff. There's no powers to explain. There's no special moves or whatever. I mean, Levi does some special moves, but he doesn't name them, I don't think.
Right.
So yeah,
This is Levi's special move.
big facts. So yeah. So they go out into the beyond the walls into the fields and
Shout out to Reagan.
And
Reagan
but
Arataka.
they go out and stuff starts going bad immediately.
Yeah, they're down bad, like considerably.
Considerably down bad.
So I think there's a couple of Titans in the mix, but obviously the main crux of this whole thing is Annie's Titan, the female Titan, who they don't yet know is Annie, obviously. Just running rampant through the formation because it's designed for the normal Titans, the ones that just follow people. They're like, COD zombies. They just go after people in a straight line, like whatever the shortest route is. And so because of that, they can outmaneuver them. And then the one caveat is like, oh, if it's a abnormal one or an abhorrent, whatever the word is, then we kill that one and then we move on. And so the system does not at all account for a completely intelligent Titan, like moving through it with purpose and design. So Annie just runs rampant through the freaking formation, she's just slaughtering dudes.
It's terrifying, dude. Like they handle that to. I think one of the guys is like the squad leader with Armin and stuff. The dude who has like the horses. I forget his name. And they like handle the one, and then they just show a shot of like the female Titan in the background just running.
Yep.
Oh frick! And then like
another one. Like, another one.
Like, oh dang, another one. Man, we gotta handle this one. And she just wipes the freaking floor with them. Like grabs the freaking cord, smashes the dude like an arm.
And she operates in a way differently from the other Titans, where she's only set to kill.
Yep.
Like she doesn't
not
eat
devouring.
them. She just like if you get in her way, she's going to smash you, and she's not going to turn back and eat you. She's just going to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little terrifying when she just pulls back
Armin's
homie's hood.
Armin's hood.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And she just like looks at him like
mad close. Yeah.
And then puts it back on, and then he just dips. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. She like looks at him and sees it's Armin, and then she spares him.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the first really strong hint about, like, this is someone close to, like, our central group of characters because of the fact that she's just been slaughtering randoms, like, people that don't even have a name in the show, basically. And then when it comes to, the core group, she's actually sparing people.
It's very clear that she knows her target, which is Eren. And she doesn't care about any of the others. Like, she has one goal.
There's the great. There's that one part too where she like squeezes Reiner in her hand and is like about to pop his head like a melon, and then you see like a rush of blood, and you're like shit, and then he spins out of it with the blades, which is super freaking cool. It was really cool.
What were you gonna say, David?
Oh no, go ahead, Alex.
I was just gonna say, they kind of make it at this point in the show. There's somebody who's an imposter. And so you're kind of trying to figure out who it is. And they don't really give you a lot of options as to who it could be. So it's kind of easy to figure it out. And you're like, Yeah. But it's still beautiful in the way it does.
Especially if you like not memorize her face, but if you just like have a clear image of of her face in your mind. Like she looks exactly the same.
She does get that big schnozzle.
Yeah. And I think she's also the only blonde female character in the group.
That's actually not true. There's one character who fooled me. I think they give a red herring, which is Krista. They She sort of after the three of them like escape, and Jean doesn't have his horse. She comes riding up like, "Hey, I was just in the area. I found your horse." And it's like, I feel like they're heavily trying to like throw you off the trail that it could.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, Krista. Okay, yeah. Very good point.
It was her first. Yeah,
I think I might have as well.
That's a good point. I didn't have any doubt in my mind that it was Annie, but I totally see like that being a red herring. So
and bro, being out in those fields without a horse must feel like swimming in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, dude. Like that must be so terrifying. Oh my lord, you're so screwed. You're so dead, and you can do nothing but wait for it. Like you can jog back to the wall, but there's no way you make it. Like that's absurd.
Even with a horse, it's like riding a dolphin. Like you still don't.
Dude, they gallop like 80 kilometers an hour. Like they are quick as hell.
Yeah, they do. They do a point to make it so that it's like these are specially bred, super cool horses that like are designed for the scout regiment. Like these aren't your everyday horse, but they are absurd. Yeah, there's hella memes about how ridiculously fast the Attack on Titan horses are.
That's another instance of the show not having to explain everything. Like there are so many shows I could pinpoint where they would like take 30 seconds out of the time of the show to say, hey, these horses are specially bred for this mission. It's like, I don't fucking need that info. Like I can clearly see that they're running fast and they're not really that smooth.
Now that I say that, I think that's one of the information cards is where you get that information.
I said the 80 kilometers an hour. That was the speed point.
It's one of the before and after commercial information cards. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool.
Then we get to the Forest of Death.
Yeah, they bait her into the forest, like you said. They hint at the fact that it's all a trap, kind of, by the fact that they start comparing notes, and they're like, oh, I thought Eren was here in the formation, and then someone else like, oh, I thought he was here in the formation. So like clearly that's their target of, or like at least a secondary part of the mission is like someone's looking for Eren, so we give different people information and see who acts on it, basically, which is very geniusly done by Erwin yet again.
Look, like watching that sequence of them, like there has to be an ace in their sleeve. You know, they're going to get caught by her, and like up until the shit actually happens where they tie her down with the anchor of the arrows, I didn't realize that they had an ace in their sleeve. Like hindsight is 20/20. Like I'm just like so caught up in that sequence. Like I'm just like, what are they gonna do? Like they're just like they keep screaming at Levi like, oh, what are your orders? What are your orders? What are your orders? And it's like, right, shut the fuck up. But you know, then she gets fucking manhandled, and they're a little fooled themselves. They're like, oh, you know, this plan worked, and then they kind of let it slip through their fingers.
I was gonna say, for all the mind games and everything, Levi just sort of stands on top of her like, all right, we need to take you alive, and then she freaks out, and it's like,
dude. And okay, so that part in particular killed me, because it was like, okay, she's basically like, this is a last resort. She's calling all the Titans in the area to basically beat the shit out of them. But it wasn't that. It was to get her out of that situation. It wasn't to kill the Survey Corps. It was to get her out of it. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's nuts. She gets ripped out of it, and she's so powerful and so in tune with her power that she's able to crack it open again after like a half hour or whatever.
Bro,
like, she's a fucking boss.
It's such a the whole expedition is such a crazy like
both.
It's like you got the terrifying female Titan, and then just all these like times your expectations are getting fricked with like that, like you're saying, like they just coming to eat her. And it's like, and then they're like, dang, she was dedicated to die by eating, but it's like, nah, she was just getting eaten and carried away.
Right. I thought I thought she was gonna sacrifice herself, because like maybe she was holding like secrets that if like, you know, if they interrogated her and they came out, that it would be detrimental to whoever she's working for. But that wasn't the case at all. She had an ace up her sleeve as well. It's just like, fam, like this shit never ends.
Did anybody else say the same thing I said? Yo, we know we got Titans, but are these Titan trees? These trees are massive.
These trees are massive, man. For sure.
Dummy thick trees.
Yeah, they actually make a point to talk about how ridiculously massive the forest is. So yeah, it was.
And then homies are like learning to climb. I thought that was fucking hilarious with the Titan is just like climbing like American Ninja Warrior.
Like, and I think it's John is standing up in the tree, and he's like, "Yo, this is a
prime example of that. They can learn.
They're getting kind of close. Do we move?
Yeah.
Like what was happening?
I would be terrified. I don't even care if I have gear that will send me out. I'm terrified.
I'm shaking in my boots. Yeah, absolutely. So she gets away, like we said. She gets eaten, and then they know that it's like it's someone in. I think she kills someone as she's running away. And so they're like, okay, these are blade wounds. Like, this isn't a Titan. Like, someone with our equipment killed this guy.
Yeah, they're like, someone with our uniform is still in our midst.
Yeah, so they show the shot of like her back basically with the hood up, so you can't tell who it is.
Yeah.
But you know who it is.
And she goes,
and then the fucking squad is just like, they were like so afraid of attacking her, and I'm like, fam, it's like 5-on-1. Just fucking fight her. She's not in her Titan form anymore. Like, and she's just a terror. I'm like, are you shitting me? I was pissed. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little pissed.
Yeah. Yo, I'd be trying to aim at her with the ODM gear, like hook her with that.
Facts.
Yeah. You definitely do that.
You just need one good shot. She's done.
They do for efficiency's sake, like just show them gliding through the trees without having to like reattach, you know, like Spider-Man swinging from building to building. Like it'd be freaking exhausting if they were like doing it every 2 seconds. Exhausting to watch, obviously. So yeah, I'm glad that they do that like that, and the scenes of them flying through are cool. But yeah, they finally do engage after, I think it's after. Yeah, no, it's before Eren transforms, because he's like they turn back to fight her, so that Eren can like escape, and they're succeeding massively, and then they're not.
Yeah, they just get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
And he feels guilty because he allows them the trust to take care of him, and you know, they get picked off one by one, and it's like, this is kind of painful. Like they literally all die together, and then homie just turns back around. He's like, all right, I've had enough.
Yeah, it's yet another prime example of two things the show does constantly, which is like, this is like not almost entirely, sorry, that's the wrong phrase, but like very, very much so, this is a information war. Like, the fact that we know nothing is killing us more than anything else, because of the fact that they blind her to start off with, and she manages to heal one eye, which is something that they didn't realize, like, you can direct the healing power and stuff like that. Like, they're slowly learning these things that end up screwing them over. It cost them like literally the entirety of Levi's squad just for that piece of information.
Which is another instance of them not having to explain it. Like, they just have one sentence. It's like, I can't not stress that point enough. Like, the show is so fluid and just forward thinking.
The pacing is
it just keeps
exquisite.
It pushing, man. There's no need for explaining. I love it.
Yeah, it believes in the viewer, basically, where it's like, you're gonna figure this out.
We're not stupid. Like
we're putting it in front of you. You're gonna figure it out. Yeah. So it's and then the other thing is that, like, no character is safe. Like, you've been with these characters for the last several episodes. They're dead now. Bye. Gone. Done one.
That's what I was saying about like it turning into Deathly Hollows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, bro. The way they just get absolutely freaking folded too. Like,
a couple of them have plot armor for sure.
Like, Petra's got like a 90-degree angle with her back bent the wrong way, and it's like, it's so messed up. Like, the way they die and everything, it's devastating. And
it makes you feel for Eren. He's just like,
yeah, absolutely. Right. And for
I made the wrong decision. Yeah.
And for Levi too, man. Levi just keeps on losing people. It's so freaking brutal.
Yeah, and there's a point where he swings back around after they fought, and he sees Petra, and he's just like, he's got such a deadpan face. Like, you can tell all of his emotions have been drained from the war, and he's just like,
yeah, man.
He just kind of stares at him, and then he moves on. It's like, you have no time to mourn your comrades. It's kind of fucked up.
Freaking devastating.
I love how they characterize Levi. I mean, they even, I think like the first scene with him is when the scout regiment is like out during Trost, and like you see like this dude dying who basically didn't do anything or whatever, and he's like standing over him as he dies, and he's like, did I do something? Did I help you out? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, Levi is like, everyone sees him as so cold and all this stuff, and he's like a killing machine, but he's always like, he cares about his troops, like, seems like more than most people.
Yeah, that's really good that you bring that up, because that is a really like character defining scene for Levi. Is like, this is who he is as a person. Like, he's never gonna be cold to his soldiers because of whatever reason. He's like yeah, like, to give him comfort as he was dying, he told him like, yes, you helped the survival of humanity, like, you did your job, which is like a moment of not softness but like of kindness that you don't expect from his character. And it's like, he is like inherently kind when he wants to be.
Yeah, for sure. And
the only other moment of that sequence of Aiden fighting Annie that I wanted to talk about was just that she kicks the fucking head off him and like clean off his shoulders. Basically, I was like,
she kicks his jaw. Yeah, I know. She kicks his head off.
He gets freaking smoked.
And then when she punches his jaw off and turns her arm hard, and then he slides his teeth on her arm.
Yeah, that was bad.
It's so freaking gruesome. Yeah, but yeah, so Eren gets his ass handed to him in the 1v1. And then we got and then as he
I think I actually said, like, I said to Rocio when we were watching, I'm like, this fight is so blue ballsy because he doesn't land a single punch.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
and then he finally lands one, and it isn't enough, and she counters him like immediately, and I'm just like, bruh. Like, I wanted him to get a good lick in, and he didn't.
Yeah, because he just this show will do that, dude. He sees his squad wiped out, and he's like, I'll kill it and freaking stuff, and then just gets beat the frick up.
Yeah,
and
I definitely hope.
Fight? Oh,
go ahead. No. You were talking.
That's the fight where he's like, I think that's it, where he's like on top of her, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you and eat you or something. Like, I think that's the one in the fourth.
That's the final fight.
Okay, because I was thinking of that.
That's the final fight. Because then he's like, he's like so like in love with the idea of eating her, and then Levi's just like, man, don't fucking eat a good witness. Like,
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's the end of the show.
You just see him get more freaking nutso determined.
But I mean, do you think at this point it's worth it to just even keep her alive? I mean, just kill her.
It certainly depends, because like you have that mad scientist behind you, so you could kind of reverse engineer the shit that happened to her. But at the same time, I understand. But you also have to think, like, there are multiple iterations of these Titans. Like, there are other people that have this ability, so just killing one isn't necessarily going to save you. They're going to come back eventually. So you might as well learn what you can.
Yeah,
there's a lot of unknowns at this point, so it's like
exactly.
That's the point of capturing her, is because there's so many unknowns.
Because they know so little, they need that sweet info.
But at what point is it like too many people that you lost?
I mean,
question, but like
they balance lives a lot like that, where they're like, okay, the info, they bet on the info saving more lives than killing her would save. Like killing her would save less lives than capturing her and learning more, is basically the way they balance it. So whether or not that's correct, I would think it is, because of they're so in the dark with everything Titan related, that capturing her would be such a gold mine for them. So it makes sense to me. But yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes of the season, is when Mikasa shows up as Eren gets eaten, and Mikasa just is like, well, time to go to town, and just like slicing ankles, slicing arms, slicing elbows, like she's just tearing her up. And as she's like really doing the work, Levi shows up too. And then Levi says, Beyblade, let it rip, and frickin' goes full tear up her arm. Like, you just can't even question how they animated that. Like, it can't be physically possible, but it looks so frickin' cool that you just have to go with it, basically. Where he just whips up her entire arm as like a literal blade circle, and just rips down.
Whips an A for sure.
Physics is out the window with this show.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the time it is. Yeah, but it's watching him like just shred her is just so freaking cool. It's the peak of the ODM gear.
It's so good. Yeah. You have Mikasa makes that mistake and gets his ankle sprained or whatever it is broken.
Yep.
Dang it.
But they dropped this chick's jaw.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Like she just took a fucking beating.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, just give up on the idea of killing her. We just need to get out of here.
Yeah. I remember I thought he was gone. Like, he was gonna be kidnapped for like a season or something when she gets him.
I thought that too, and I was like, thank God. I hate retrieval arcs so much. I hate it so much.
That's very fair.
I hate well-defined goals like that, where it's like, all right, these next. That's the problem with like season 4 of My Hero.
I was going to say that's exactly what we talked about.
It's that one goal, and it's like, all right, nothing else in the show is going to happen until this is resolved.
Yeah. But thank God they show up.
Yep.
Pretty great scene.
So they get him back. They successfully retreat. So it's basically a failure of a mission.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
they know very little. They lost quite a fair amount of good people, and just
But at this
standard
point,
foot soldiers.
they're very suspicious of one person, and
Yes.
that person is Annie. And they're like, Annie, just come down the tunnel.
Just come down the tunnel.
Yeah, so that's where we
will not do
get
that.
to, because they have that whole grand plan where John is dressed up as Eren and in the thing, and then they're like, okay, Annie, we're gonna.
Before we get off of that part where he comes out of the carriage and takes off the wig, and he's like, and the guy's like, Eren, and he's like, I'm not fucking Eren. Don't fucking call me that name again. Like,
yeah, he's like, I'm done playing dress up. I'm not Eren.
Don't call me the idiot name again. Like,
yeah. So Annie, being part of the military police, she's part of the regiment that's supposed to escort his like prisoner transport, basically, because of the mission being like chalked up as a failure. The church and the government wants Eren's head, basically, and so but it's all fake all along. So they fake break Eren out, basically, and then they, like you said, come down the stairs, Annie.
Well, yeah, well, I'll tell you, I like the beauty of it because Armin presents her with the idea of breaking Eren out, and I kind of like how it's in her best interest, but not in the way that it would seem to her at first. I mean, to her, in her mind, she thinks that she's just helping them break him out, or they think she's helping them break out. But in her mind, it's in her best interest to get Eren, so that's what she agrees to.
Yeah, I mean,
she slips on the self-harm ring.
Yeah, if I was a Titan, I'd definitely need that. If I wouldn't be able to fight myself.
Yeah, it's a very convenient tool for a Titan to have, for sure. Like that's what Alex was saying, I think.
Yep, I said if I was a Titan, I need a ring because I would not be able to by myself.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's so they won't come down the tunnel. That's honestly a decently haunting scene where they're trying to convince her, and Eren is basically like, don't do it, like, come on, don't do it, don't be the female Titan, like he really wants it not to be true. And Mikasa's like, bitch, I'm done playing games, and she like draws her blades and everything, and Annie just laughs in her face, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is going down. Clash of the Titans, if you will. So it's
quite literally.
It's so yeah. Then they she was like, yeah, I'm sus because what part of the city is this quiet at all times? Like we haven't passed a person in like 5 blocks. Like all this stuff, you're trying to lead me down. Like I'm building evidence as to you guys suspect me as the female Titan because she's been active for a while, so she's gonna get found out eventually. Is probably her mindset. So she doesn't want to get baited down into the basement, and everyone rushes her, and they almost restrain her, but then she has the ring, and the ring pops open, and she slices herself, and like you said would happen in the courtroom if he transformed, she just explodes, and everyone just goes flying. And then
Heat Town
commence that fight.
Yeah,
they have no chill killing innocent civilians, man. Like they chuck her into one of the churches of the Wallace, and oh my god, I didn't think they were gonna do it, and they did it, and she just falls on them and kills all of them. I'm just like, are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Like this show just gives zero fucks.
I think that's the very beginning of the final episode. Right before that, they have their plan B, which they're like, okay, they have plans on plans, and so Hanji like resets the trap and everything, and they tie her down, but apparently they don't get her leg one way or another, so she just leg sweeps the entire contraption and gets up and leaves again.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what she figures, that they've done a really good job of planning everything out, so her objective now becomes getting the freak out.
Yes, definitely.
On the run.
But yeah, that church gets absolutely freaking smoked. Like the entire congregation just gets crushed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Right before that, though, when they're in the tunnel, right after she transforms, they add an extra bit to the Titan lore of like, apparently you have to have a set goal in mind in order to transform, and Mikasa freaking interrogating Eren about why he can't transform must be because he doesn't want to kill Annie, because he likes Annie, because they're friends, whatever, is like he doesn't want to have to go kill her, so he doesn't have the clear goal in his mind. that frame, the way they draw her face, like staring at him, is one of the most single, intense, like intimidating frames I've ever seen in a show. It is ridiculous. It's so good.
Like a horror freaking.
It is.
She's.
Well, at that point, she's like, if this man does not marry me, he is going down too.
He is absolutely going down into this tunnel.
Yeah.
And we are going to square up.
Yeah. So
finally. Yeah.
So yeah,
he run rampant through the city and.
Yeah, they do damage. They do Avengers level damage to the freaking city. That's for sure.
Exactly what I was going to say, brother.
Yep.
Literally, like fuck you.
Sorry.
It's fine. I literally thought like about Avengers, and how they were endangering civilians and stuff.
But the best part is when she's climbing the wall and then Mikasa just slices her.
Dude, that was fire, bro. That was big fire. I'm not gonna lie. And before I forget, like this point, I don't know. I'm probably like alone in this, but it's like it was just a little thing where she kept guarding her neck because obviously she knows that's how Titans die, and it pissed me off every time that she was just like sitting there like this, standing like this, just like I'm just like. You fucking bitch! Like you're such a pussy. Just let us kill you. Like you're such a bitch.
Yeah, you're equating it to like camping in Call of Duty. Like
literally camping.
Yeah, it's like taking the yeah. It's like play the game, bro. Stop protecting your neck.
God,
protect your neck. LOL.
You're not.
I hated literally. I hated that part. And they showed it like so umpteen times. I hated it every time.
I get that. It makes too much sense to be truly mad at. I think, but I get that. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry. I've been stealing your shine.
I'm just saying, he's not alone. I was definitely heated too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
she's camping.
That's the thing when she finally takes an L at the end. It's so satisfying.
Oh my god, dude! I was like, are they really not gonna get this chick?
Yeah. She starts climbing away. Because you have
they get her.
Yeah,
but then she freezes over, right?
It's an outrageous fight because Eren gets his shit pushed in again, but then he's just like so angry, he's so pissed that he just activates like super regeneration somehow one way or another.
Yeah, he's like ultra instinct.
Yeah, and so he's just like, and that's another really good line of like he reaffirms his whole thing about killing all the Titans, and he's like it comes from his chest, and it's like it's a really good line there. And he gets up and he chases her down. It just goes rage mode, and that's when she's climbing the wall, and that's they're all like, she's getting away, and Mikasa just has that line like, I won't let you, and just like you said, really cool moment, slices the fingers off, and then as Annie's falling, Mikasa just like sets down on her face,
and then she's like fall,
and he just goes fall, and then just like pushes off, and you're like, that is the baddest bitch on the planet right there. That is Mikasa. Like she is, man,
that was definitely a baller ass moment.
Yeah, she's a baller for up and down the lane for sure.
I need a baller ass boss ass dude.
for sure.
Yeah, that. So yeah, like you said, then he tears her out basically, and she's having like a flashback of her dad talking to her.
I'm on your side.
Yeah, all that. And so Eren, so she's crying like as Eren like rips open the neck, and that gives him like a moment's pause of like seeing her face, seeing her be like a human, gives him like a moment's pause, and then she's able to harden herself to protect herself.
Just enough.
Yep. Which is tough.
That's essentially where the show ends.
It's tough. I mean,
roundabout.
Armin says at the end, he's like, yeah, it was Eren's fault. Did you catch that? He's just like, it's literally because of Eren.
Yeah.
That she's cocooned?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it outright, yeah.
Like, don't hold back, man.
Well, I'll tell you when the show really ends, though. The wall gets chipped off.
Yeah, Trevor, did you catch the after credits?
I did. I forgot what it was.
Oh, God.
You forgot?
Forgot that?
What is it?
Break it down.
It's like it's great timing. It's like 1 second before it ends, the wall's like crumbling, and the last piece falls, and there's like a Titan eye in the wall.
Gotcha. It was 3:30 in the morning, so I was very tired. I was running on about 4 hours of sleep. So
I
don't remember that part.
That's the moment where the wall comes apart and you see his eye, and there's a priest down there, and he's like, whatever you do, don't let the sun touch that. So now we have some sort of like, the church knows something that we don't, and like all this stuff, like what the fuck is the church now? So it's we're gonna get into it, I'm sure. we'll see what season 2 and 3 brings us. But yeah, I think the final scenes are them being interrogated, and Erwin somehow spinning the fact that they ended up killing so many civilians as like, well, if we didn't do anything, she would have killed more people, and just ends up getting away with it. I mean, he's very convincing, but it does feel a bit too easy, honestly. But yeah, so he convinces them, and then ends up with the scout regiment having custody of both Eren to use as they please, as well as Annie, which they keep in a basement in an undisclosed location, all tied up. So yeah,
I'm eager to hear Trevor's hypothesis. What say you, blind man?
This is also what I was wondering, because it's honestly a little unfortunate that we don't get to all theorize and do that stuff, because we all know the answer already. But yeah, I wanted to hear any sort of fan theories, any sort of thoughts you got bopping around.
I'll probably disappoint you guys. I don't really have too many prevalent theories that I have going into season 2. I just like my biggest concern is who she's working for, and why she wants to break apart the humanity. Like she's a traitor. So I want to see more about her, and I'm assuming that's what season 2 is about. So we'll see. We will definitely see.
Okay,
that's all I really got for you.
Well, season 2 is gonna come in hot. I will tell you that much. So it's
I expect nothing less.
Yeah. So I believe our next episode will be 2 and 3, 36 episodes to cover.
Yeah,
I think,
that's gonna
something
be
like
painful
that.
as shit.
It's gonna be wild.
Gotta pace ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Good fucking god.
So yeah, that was
Nice.
That was every ounce of plot of season 1, I think. But it's a lot happens. I mean, we did honestly skim over like a fair amount of stuff that happens in like the Battle of Trost and stuff like that. So we absolutely have to. I mean, we're deep into it. So
we skimmed over probably one of my favorite lines of the season, which is in the Battle of Trost, when when Armin has to wake Eren up, and it sort of summarizes Eren's whole motivation, where he's like, you knew like hell was outside of the walls. Why did you want to join the scout regiment? He says, because I was born into this world. And then the freaking fire lights up and stuff.
Yeah.
That part is freaking great. And that's such a great answer to that question. Like, I literally, because I'm a human being and I see it and like be free. And I think that is a theme for the show, maybe, or one of the themes. And for this season, I think it is great. It makes it great.
Yeah, it's freaking
It's a
remarkable.
great season in general.
Yeah, Armin's speeches are top tier every time. So
Well, that's Eren, man. That's Eren popping off.
well, that I mean,
But I guess Armin does give them motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
that's what I was going to. But yeah, Eren is also he cooks. He cooks sometimes. He's doing good shit.
He certainly does.
They definitely cook. Speaking of cooking, do you want to give us your seasoned ratings for the show? What say you?
Season 1. Well, what says the newbie? I don't know.
Come on.
What do you mean? Come
Y'all
on.
copping out. I give it a solid 8.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I feel like I was talking more in this anime review than I have in other anime reviews, which I'm kind of proud of myself. I don't know. But yeah, no, I like the show. It's not like it. It's hard because I don't want to diss the show, but it like.
Go ahead, I'm here for it.
No, it's like I don't watch shows to be like incredibly depressed per se. Like it puts you in a different mind state than a lot of other shows. Like some shows will have like these dark themes, but this one is prevalently dark the entire time.
Yeah.
And, you don't really get that much of an emotional break, and it's exhausting. It's very mentally taxing.
Yep.
And it's one of the reasons why it took me so long to finish the season. Like I finished it like 17 hours ago before we recorded. So it's very hard on me mentally, and I don't really want to cover another anime like this for a while.
Gotcha.
I love the action. The action is clean. The characters are great. It's just it's a lot. But I like the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you, well, do I spoil the top 10 anime episodes of all, or list? Frick me. Do I spoil the episode of top 10 anime all time and say that this? I think we already might have said it, that this is my number one, basically. So it's and that's reaffirmed by the most recent stuff as well. So it's I don't know where I'd put it just based off of this season. Like if this is all I had to work with, where would that rank?
Well, I don't want you to rank it. I want you to give it.
No, I'm getting there. So yeah, it's I either have it as a 9 or a 10 on anime list, but I'll call it a 10 right now because it's just I love the show to death. I love everything that you don't like about it. Basically, how brutal it is, how outrageously emotional
I like the
it makes you
brutality.
feel.
I just like it's exhausting.
I mean emotionally brutal as well, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I mean the characters are great, all their motivations make sense, the music is phenomenal, the animation is fire, the action is cool, the lore is cool, the amount of information they hide from you is very interesting. It leaves you smacking next episode at 3 a.m. At least it does me. So it's a very incredibly well executed show. It hit the spot of like I need to know more, like very, very well when I was first watching it. And in that sense with the ongoing seasons of like I want to know what this world is and what's going on here and how this all turns out. Because of how much we were talking about it earlier about us knowing what happens in the future of the way they trickle information to you, about being very careful this episode not bringing any of that up, because it hasn't been as tough as I thought it was, but I thought it would be, but it's definitely still intense in terms of all that stuff. So yeah, I mean I love basically every aspect of the show. It's not traditional shonen. It is about the war. It's about information. It's about the world. So you're not just pulling for Eren to be as good as he can be or whatever. Like Eren hits his skill cap basically. So it's like it's. I mean, well now he's a Titan, so there's all sorts of stuff that goes into that, I guess. But it's just the matter of the fact is like the show is about everything as opposed to having any sort of singular tunnel focus, and I love that. So yeah. That's my 2 cents or $20, whatever you want to call that.
$20.
It's a solid $20.
Worth it.
I'll tell you what I can confirm. On my anime list, I gave it a 9.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
It is dope. It's a dope show. It's a dope season. It's a new season, and we still breathing. That's how we do it.
I keep thinking of the 50 line every time I hear breathing.
Yeah.
Because he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. Well, many men want Titans to die, so I want the Titans to die.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that showed up in the camera, but I did the boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
dope season. Lots of mystery, stuff to get you intrigued. Developing the world, you're curious to know what goes on next. So it definitely works as a hook throughout the entire season to get you watch the next couple seasons that we got going. So
Big facts.
I'm excited
sure.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
9, man, 9. It's a 9.
Dope.
That's dope.
What say you, Dav?
I don't know. I'm kind of I'll probably give it a season 1 8.5, which is really great. It's really great, but I have some flaws with it. Like it's not the funnest show, which is
No,
I guess
not at all.
Which,
That's
you
not
know,
with you.
that is what it is, so that's fine too.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely like some brutal shows or whatever, but I guess basically it just isn't like the first season isn't like this is the perfection of anime. This is like the height of what it could be, but it is really great at what it does and mystery, and there's not really too many big flaws with it. It's really intense, great action, fantastic music. Not too much bad about it. I definitely think my opinion of season 1 was improved rewatching it, because the first time I watched it was 2013. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, I could go 8.5 or 9, honestly. So very excited for the next stuff too. The that's like revisiting it. Yeah.
Dope.
I think it was
All right.
Super solid.
We can cap off with some closing statements. This is a very long-winded anime review. This is probably our longest anime review. We're closing in on an hour and 50 minutes.
Dang.
So
Yeah, there's a whole load of badass moments, so I think it demands covering. But it's also very convoluted sometimes in the way the plot moves forward. So
the plot will thicken.
Yeah.
it
Give
do
us
be
your
thick.
closing remarks, baby girls.
All right. Been real, everybody. Get excited for the next freaking episode. 2 and 3 is gonna be massive. Hopefully, it won't be 3 hours, but we'll see.
Oh fuck. God. We may have to break this shit out. I don't know. That's gonna be painful.
Yeah, we'll see how. I mean, we'll see how you feel maybe after we start watching it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it might be a part 4 episode or series. Unfortunately, didn't want to spend 2 fucking months on one show, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
Examining this anime,
We'll see.
Anime titan in the industry. So
We'll see.
Well said, David.
But we'll see. We'll see. But I'll tell you what we won't see. I'll tell you we're seeing right now. We're seeing a great come up of us unboxing boys. You know, if you've made it this far and you're the real ones, you know where to find us. You know how to get in contact. We're here for you. And with that, I'll say I do love you all.
Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely gave my closing statements during my rating, I think, so I'll leave it at what I already said. So yeah, if like Alex said, if you're this far in, you're the real one for sure. Hope you're enjoying it. And if you are, then look forward to parts 2, 3, and maybe 4, depending on how that plays out. So yeah, at Unboxing Life Pod on Twitter and Instagram and r/Unboxing Life Podcast. Come start a conversation with us. Hit us up in the comments on the YouTube and leave us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I guess it's called. So all that good stuff. So yeah, all that being said, sayonara, Tomodachi.
Awesome. Well said, gentlemen. Also, polite reminder, please keep all of your spoilers from season 2 through 4 out of the comment section.
In the manga.
The manga, nothing. We don't want to talk about anything that we haven't talked about in this episode that you've already heard. We will be deleting those comments, and yeah, that's just all that needs to be said on that. Just don't be a dick. Is the bottom line. But I'm very happy to be putting this anime under my belt. This is kind of like the top 10 staples of anime. Like if like this is one of the most discussed shows, like period, outside of anime. It's like in the likes of, Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all that kind of stuff. It like the kind of transcends the medium. So it's overwhelming to talk about just because so many people have talked about it and it's such a beloved show. But yeah, I'm very thankful that we're covering it. There's so many other shows that I feel that way about that we're going to get to, and just happy that we have this podcast to have an excuse to talk shit about it for 2 hours. So
Yep.
I think I say that just about every week, but it just reaffirms like how thankful I am that we get together as a squad and do this. So love you guys a lot. And with that said, peace out, baby. Take care.